If you think that people are acting funny towards you, the likelihood is they usually are. Hey, it's your girl Nay. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. If you're true here, welcome back. Grab a snack, have a seat. We've got some things to talk about. Fake friends, right? A lot of times we have, especially as women, and I've said this in different videos, and I'm going to say it as many times as I need to until we all universally understand. Women being women does not automatically make them your ally, especially in a patriarchal society. And this is not about politics, it's just facts. A woman who is seeking male validation and male approval, regardless of the age, because it is younger, older, your peer group, whatever, if they align with male approval, if that's what they seek and they hold as a hierarchy above all, even above themselves, because that's what pick do, you are never completely their friend. You're only their friend when it's convenient for you until it involves a man, right? So these weird instances in which you become competition to them and they're in secret competition with you, because it's almost always secret competition to you. It's subtle, but it's very present. The shade, the backhanded jokes, the moments that make you think, what did you mean by that? They will try and discard them as, I didn't mean it like that. You're looking too deeply into it, or just dismiss it. Talk about even when men come around and all of a sudden she wants to bring up an embarrassing story about you that happened God knows how long ago. And even if it happened yesterday, why would you bring it up in front of anybody, really, but especially in front of a guy? Most instances, pick me's are not pick me's specifically to men that they want. They are pick me's towards men, period. And if there's any men watching this video or this segment and you don't understand the whole hoopla between pick me's and regular women who do not consider themselves pick me's, the reason why pick me's are dangerous is because they will put you in harm's way, whether that's emotional, mental, physical, all for the sake of a man's validation. They will agree with that man in any way, shape, or form. Again, it does not matter if she does not want the man romantically. A daughter will do it against her sister for her father's approval. A pygmy is a pygmy regardless. And again, she will put you in harm's way just for the sake of a man's validation. So when women are in secret competition with you, they will throw shade at you. They will not protect you when you need protection. They will find the innocence in someone else who has offended you or harmed you in any kind of way. They will give them the benefit of the doubt. These are women who are in secret competition with you. I'm not talking about someone who's being diplomatic and they're like, hey, maybe they didn't actually mean it like that because they truly don't think the person meant it like that. But truthfully, they know what was wrong. And if it was done to them, they wouldn't like it. But because it's being done to you, hey, maybe they didn't mean it like that. Now, all of a sudden, when you've done something and you have warranted me not messing with you anymore, then it turns to, I didn't know we were beefing. Well, you handled me in a way that I would never have handled you. So it's not beef, but it's also, right? Until you either decide to reflect on your behavior and come better, or we cannot talk about it, but it's also, like I said, until whenever. And it's as simple as that. We don't have to have a conversation. But these are moments in which you are never going to be told directly. And if you are, it's usually from a third party that this person is in competition with you. This person is mimicking what you do, right? They might mimic your wardrobe that's not a way that they did that before. And I know people say that like imitation is flattery, but I think it's strange when it comes from someone who's close to you, to be honest with you, but that's neither here nor there. Men do this as well. Men can compete with you even though they're men, even if they're not gay men or feminine presenting men. Men can be competitive with women as well. Men can be competitive with men, and the way that they can showcase that is similar to how women showcase it with women, in the sense of trying to embarrass you in front of the opposite sex, mocking or mimicking your swag, the way that you dress, the way that you talk. But there are also scenarios in which men are competing with women and they are often in silent competitions. And they are usually the men that are the closest to you, just like the women. They are From my experience, the way that a man will showcase that he's not on your side, whether this is romantic or platonic friendships, which I don't thoroughly believe in when it comes to men and women, unless one, if not the both of them, are simply not attracted to each other. But in a man's emotional absence for you, because there's no male friend that I've ever had that in the thick of our friendship, when we were the closest in our friendship, that I couldn't come to him with anything and share with him. Once they become cold towards you in that regard, once a man, similar to what I said about a woman, finds more fault in what you do or is dismissive of your feelings, even if he's not in secret competition with you, he don't bang with you like that, because the male friends feel like big bros. Even if they're younger than you, they are protective by nature. A man is protective by nature. It can look like him not clapping for your accolades, whether that's you graduating from college, whether that's you on your birthday and he doesn't acknowledge you or he doesn't get you what you asked for. A man who like wants you and a man who like wants to make sure you're good is going to, you don't have to ask twice. He won't show up for you. He won't hold space for you. There's been times where a man literally went from telling me he loved me every day, and I allowed myself to be vulnerable with him and let him know I needed his help with something, and he literally did not show up for me. And he said he would, and he did not show up for me. Blocked immediately, expeditiously, indefinitely. This next one is something that we have to be careful with, because a lot of people, as a spiritual woman, I believe in God, but I am more spiritual in my practice than I am religious. A lot of people love to claim themselves as being energy sensitive. Everybody knows and understands energy. There's been times where people have picked up on my energy and claimed to know or understand something about me that absolutely was not the case. So let's be careful with this one, okay? Let's learn to exercise our discernment before we assume that we know energy, because a lot of us don't. A lot of us do not. You have to build that trust and that intuition with yourself to understand that. But you can pick up body language. You could pick up their tone. Let's say, for example, that someone who doesn't even know you, right? They may know of you, or you guys know each other, or maybe you had like a past relationship, but you've been estranged, okay? And they know, or they've heard a rumor about you, and they approach you at some point. It comes a time where you're sitting across the table from them, you're in close proximity physically to them, and they ask you about this rumor, right? The walls come down and they're like, hey, I heard this about you. Is this true? And whichever way, pay attention to the way they ask you. Number one, the comfort, what led them to feel comfortable to ask you, but also two, the tone. Oftentimes when someone doesn't bang with you and they're not seeking to better understand you, or there's times where people will hear something about you and they will be like, I don't believe that to be true. They're going to ask you, right? You have those people, and that you can tell by their tone whether or not it's understanding, or whether it's curious, or whether or not it's accusatory, whether or not they're like, I heard this about you and I already don't like you for it, but I just want to see if it's true. You can kind of tell the way that they're asking the questions. Like, so they'll be like, so is it true that da da da? You can see it in their facial expressions, right? The grimace they may have, the smirk they may have. They might kind of try to laugh it off. Pay attention to the body language. If they're turning away from you, even if it's not their chest, are their legs turning away from you? Are they closed off and guarded now? There have been times where I was in a conversation with someone and we were talking about like my plans to be successful, whatever, and it was more than one person. Like it was me, a person, another person, or maybe it was several of us sitting at a table, and all of a sudden I'm seeing the people or the person who like becomes fidgety, and all of a sudden they went from sitting still to now they can't, now they're deep in their person. It's one thing to be looking for something, right? It's one thing to be like taking a selfie. Sure, we all do that. If the conversation is not really about us, we might drift off. That's okay. But if you can't sit still, if you can't sit still, all of a sudden you can't sit still, pay attention to stuff like that. Please, please pay attention. When it comes to you, and only when it comes to you, their behavior, their body language changes. Yeah, that's that funny ish we're talking about. So when it comes to energy, if you are not well versed in it, allow discernment to play its role, allow things to be revealed, ask for it to be revealed, and it shall, but always look at body language. Listen to the tone of their voice, listen to the subtle shade, listen to the jokes that aren't really jokes. And this is not to entice paranoia. Hold yourself accountable. This is what therapy is for. If you're going to level up, you're going to have to do therapy. So you're either going to have to learn how to hold yourself really, really accountable and or pay somebody to help you do that. But the majority of the work is yours, right? So learn to discern from paranoia and, oh my God, is this really happening? I'm afraid of this happening again because it's happened once or twice to me, to no, this is true. This is true because I know patterns and I understand patterns. And that doesn't mean we have to have a blow up argument. That doesn't mean I have to address you about it. Um, but I'm gonna take note and I'm gonna put it in my back pocket. And then you don't put it in your back pocket. Keep an eye on it for forever and keep that person still in your life. Slowly begin to back away, right? Because like I've said before in other videos, you are going to have to isolate when you are leveling up anyways. And this is just a call to action. Okay? That is it for this video. If you enjoy watching it, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you click the bell so you can be notified on everything I post. And as always, I love you for watching.